Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Happy Monday to all of you ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you all had a great weekend. Before we start on today's video, I wanted to explain to some of you that may be new here how it is that I do things on this channel, because to you it may seem that it's all over the place, and in a way it is. There's really no structure to what I do here. Very much that is, I try to stick to doing a compilation news video every Wednesday and every Sunday, and then in between doing things that have to do about prepping, doing things that I like to talk about with you all, etc. The way that I come up with these things to talk about is every morning when I wake up. I usually wake up very early. Let's see, right now it's about 3:40 in the morning, right? Monday morning. So when I wake up, I go downstairs, and while I'm sipping on my coffee, I'll go through the news. I maybe watch some motivational videos to get me up on the right side of the bed, I guess you can say. And if I find something or see something that is very interesting that I would like to have a conversation about, then I go ahead and bring it here and talk about it here. Now, I also do prepping videos, but ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this for so long that there's really only so many ways that you can show someone how to put away rice and beans, etc. So if you are new to prepping, I have a whole bunch of older videos that show you how to do all of those basic prepping things. I actually have a couple of great videos coming out. I think at least one this week, maybe one the next week. I won't spoil it for you, but one of them is a prepping on the cheap video, and another one is surviving a long-term grid down. What do you need to do in order to keep your household running? So I'm always thinking about these things, but sometimes it takes a while for them to actually manifest. And the way that I mostly get my news, ladies and gentlemen, is by looking at independent sites like this right here, Natural News. I also take a look at another site that's called SHTF, and I also take a look at Zero Hedge, amongst other independent sites that are not owned or controlled by billionaires. I take a look at articles like this: Unrest and collapse are coming to America, just like in Haiti. Do you believe that's true, ladies and gentlemen? Taking a look around, taking a look at America, taking a look at our history, do you think that we can save America? I personally think we can save America, but I also live in the real world, and I can see that we're going to have some tough times coming ahead before things get better. And thus is why I am such a proponent of being prepared at all times. And reading articles like this and going through it with you all gives me a better understanding as to maybe someone else's perspective. And whether I agree or disagree with the author's perspective, I really like sharing these types of articles with you through a layman's eyes, meaning mine. The world is watching the collapse of an entire nation, which is Haiti. If you haven't heard about what's happening in Haiti, there's actually really bad things going on out there, which leads me to believe that they are a completely failed nation. I do believe that their government actually had to flee, and that the nation is now being pretty much run by gangs. With many wondering what will happen to the Haitian people in the process, many Haitians are now fleeing to the United States, bringing with them weapons that will contribute further to the destabilizing chaos already taking place here on our own soil. How many of you think that America, as it stands now, is being destabilized? And if so, is it being done on purpose? I've talked very often about a strategy called the Cloward and Piven strategy. If you've never heard of that, look it up and compare it to what you can see with your own eyes happening right now to our nation. And what he has to say next makes a lot of sense, because it's what happens when you see pictures of war all the time playing over and over and over on a continuous loop on TV or social media. Many Americans have grown numb to such displays of civil breakdown, watching it from far away on their phones, computers, and televisions. Their assumption is that this type of horror currently unfolding in Haiti and other parts of the world could never happen here. But that assumption, ladies and gentlemen, I have to agree, is wrong. It's called normalcy bias. It's when someone thinks, hey, it's never happened here before, so it never will. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, the U.S. is in the throes of its own full-scale collapse that once it really starts picking up speed will dwarf the situation in Haiti. America is much larger, much greater, so to speak, and much more entrenched in an illusion of peace and safety, which will make the fall that much bigger and more devastating. And hence, ladies and gentlemen, is why I really like sharing these articles with you. Why? Because the author of this article so far, I can tell, is very well educated, much more than I. And I can at least translate what they're saying into layman terms that I can understand, and hopefully others that are listening to this can understand as well. So if you do appreciate this, please help me fight the algorithm and give this video a thumbs up and share it. If you let it run all the way through, that really helps a great deal, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for your support ahead of time. Here in the United States, we have been adding millions upon millions of extremely desperate people on top of the millions upon millions of extremely desperate people that we already had. Politicians in major cities like New York and Chicago, they openly admit they can't take any more. They're full. The social services available for them have been completely overwhelmed, but more people just keep coming anyways. We are creating an extremely explosive environment, they say, and the pressure that is coming in 2024 and beyond could push things over the edge. Now, excuse me when I use different words for words that are already stated on this article. It's that I've been getting in a little bit of trouble in the background, and I want to make sure that the channel stays safe. One of the most prideful nations in the world is the U.S., and its populace generally seems to think that this shining city on a hill is immune to the types of social and financial breakdowns that occur elsewhere. This is too big to fail mentality. Will contribute in a major way to this country's inevitable undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think that what he's saying there is pretty accurate? I mean, it's okay to be happy with the land that you live in, and to a certain extent proud to be American, but that pride can sometimes get in the way of reality of what is actually happening on the ground and what will eventually cause the downfall of this great nation. Take a look at our financial system. Take a look at our education system. Take a look at our governance system, ladies and gentlemen, and see how corrupt all of those are. Now, without good governance, without good finances, and without good morals, a nation is doomed. In my opinion, that is. And it seems that nowadays you can't really get past an article without it mentioning the great solar eclipse that's about to come here on the 8th of April. Here they say that an ominous solar eclipse is coming that will create an X marks the spot across over America. It passes over 7 U.S. towns named, I think I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but here it goes, Nineveh, which harkens back to the biblical story of Jonah and the judgment that occurred due to widespread wickedness and unrepentance. And is that not what we see happening to our beautiful country? There is wickedness all over. And I've often said, ladies and gentlemen, and I think that most of you would agree with me, that we are currently fighting a war that it is between good and evil. But don't worry, as long as you're prepared, you will make it through the war. And in the end, I truly believe that good will always prevail over evil. We just have to make it to that other side. America is also in the throes of a financial collapse that the powers that be are desperately trying to avoid with a soft landing. But it will not work, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because math is math. It's not going to change the laws of mathematics just for this one situation. And even if we could here in the U.S. change the laws of mathematics within our nation, there's a whole bunch of other nations out there that can see in from the outside. And they themselves know that our math does not work. What is it that Bush called it here a while? Fuzzy math. It's fuzzy math, ladies and gentlemen. There comes a point in a Ponzi scheme known as fractional reserve banking, and all the corruption that goes with it reaches an unavoidable end, and it appears the nation is just about there. I personally think that they can kick this can down the road for several more years if we allow them to come in with a CBDC. One of the things that I'm hopeful about is that I heard DJT talk about saying there will be no CBDC in our nation should I get picked during the contest that's coming up this November.
I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
The invasion from the south, the attacks on our children, the rampant lawlessness. Have you seen how businesses are now hiring their own private security? I did a video about this a few years back saying private security firms is going to become big business in the US because the police are not going to be able to keep up with all the crime that is going on out there. All of this and more spells a soon end to the American empire, at least in its current form. Ladies and gentlemen, I truly think that America will be here in the end. She may be a little bit battered, but she will still be here. I hope that you have a great day. Again, I hope you had a great Easter weekend for those of you that celebrate Easter. And remember that this afternoon at 3 p.m. Alaska time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, is going to be time for Gray and AP on this channel. So hope to see you there. We always have a great time, so truly do hope that you join in. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.